If you're like most in California, you probably attended a K-12 public school system. Perhaps your brother or sister, your parents, and your grandparents did too. Over 90% of K-12 students in California attend public schools to receive an education. The value of a good education is priceless. Without one, it is difficult to go to college, get a job, support a family, or even make ends meet. Perhaps the most important aspect of providing a good education is to be sure that schools are receiving enough money to do their jobs. So, how are California schools funded, and who decides how much? The state spends about 40% of its annual budget on education. Based on student population, demographics, and economic need, the state of California's Local Control Funding Formula, or LCFF, decides how much money a school district receives to operate. Once the LCFF declares an allocated amount for a school district, that amount is funded first by local funds and then by state funds. On average, local funds only make up 22% of the LCFF amount. Very few school districts fulfill or exceed this amount with local funds alone. But no matter how much local funds a school district receives, the state will not provide funds to exceed the amount designated by LCFF. For example, let's say that the LCFF decides that North Pole School District will receive $1 million in funds. Whether North Pole School District receives $100,000 or $800,000 in local funds, the state will only provide money to reach the designated $1 million. Where do the dollars go? On average, school districts spend between 75 and 85% of their budget on people. The remaining is spent on services and operations, supplies, and capital facilities. The money that California school districts use to build new or renovate existing school facilities, such as classrooms, sports facilities, and multi-purpose rooms, is in addition to our state-provided LCFF budget allocation, simply because there are not enough funds. The state determines how much a school district receives in funding, but they do not have the final say. Local developer fees, local bonds, and other local funds can all help the schools in your community become great. Remember that great schools create great communities, and great communities create great schools.